Good morning, dear learners. Today we'll start with service marketing, right? As we all know, what is services? Services is an act or performance that one party can offer to the another, right? And it is essentially intangible and does not result in ownership of anything, and the production may or may not be ties to the physical product, right? The most important thing about the services is that is it is intangible. The essential part of the services, it is intangible and it does not results in the ownership of anything, right? It is an act or the performance that one party can offer to the another, right? That is the services we discussed about it. What are the services that one party can offer to the another? And it is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything, right? The production may or may not be tied to the physical product. It is based on the relationships and the values, right? So services depends on the relationships and the values and used to make the market. It may be used to market a service or product, right? So the important thing is services marketing, that there are the intangible benefits. Like intangible benefits means what? That you cannot see, touch, or you cannot own anything. It is intangible. Intangible means that you cannot see, you cannot touch, or you cannot own the thing. That is the services, right? So services are intangible, so there are the certain intangible benefit. You cannot own the services, right? Services cannot be owned, and services are inseparable. You cannot separate these services from the product, right? Why do we need services, right? The products are always associated, that services are always associated with the product, right? Suppose if you are if we are taking a car, suppose we are taking a car insurance, right? So a service provider is there, an insurance company is there who will provide you the services, right? They will insure your car, but you need a product. They're inseparable, right? Suppose health insurance, right? Health insurance, a service provider can insure your health, right? Can insure. Yeah, you can take the health insurance from any of the service provider. There are many insurance company who provide these type of these services, but again it is inseparable. You cannot separate it from the product, right? A product is required for which you need these services, the car services or cleaning services or health services or any of the services. IT services means if you need, you have an app or a software, and for that you need services, or as per your requirement you want to develop certain software or the apps, that is you need a services or a product services for your product. So it is inseparable. You cannot separate these services. Variable services can be variable, right? The same type of the services, many of the service provider may be providing the same type of the services, right? But they could not be exactly same. They could be similar, same type of this. So their services could be similar type of the services. You cannot compare. You cannot say that the services of each and every service provider would be same, or every time if the same service provider is providing these services, every time there will be difference in these services, right? Suppose if you are taking a haircut from the same salon, right? Then there could be difference in their services, right? At times you may feel happy at times with the same in this with when you are taking the services from the same salon, you might not be happy. So there could be a variability in these services, right? Perishability, services could be perish, right? It is perishability. You need to take the services again and again. It is not like that once you have taken the services it will be for the lifetime. No, again and again you will have to take the services. Services are perishable. People involvement, people are involved in the services, right? Right. People includes the employees and the customer. Employees provide the services to the customer, so people involvement is there. And this people involvement is we can this people involvement we can discuss it in this CRM, that is the customer relationship management. It is the people involvement for any of the service provider. It is very important to have to manage the relationship with the customer. CRM plays a very important role in any of the service industry. What is CRM? That is the customer relationship management. Customer relationship management is what? Customer relationship management is you are managing a relationship with the customer. It is for each and every organization to survive, it is important that you should have the customers, a new customer, as well as you should always try to grab new customers, right? It is important. We discussed about the STP, right? STP is the segmentation, targeting, and positioning, right? Segmentation is we divided a heterogeneous market into the homogeneous marketing, and from those homogeneous marketing we targeted some of the groups, right? That is our target audience, and in that target audience it is very important to grab to take this some of the customers, right? To and and important to grab new of the customer, as well as most important is to maintain this to hold the customers, that is to retain the customer. The correct word is to retain the customer, that is gaining a new customer as well as the retaining a new customer. And this customer relationship management plays a very important role in gaining as well as retaining of the new customers. And people involvement is there, because people includes the employees as well as the customers, right? So people involvement is there in the service marketing. And the CRM, we can understand the CRM in this context, right? That is customer relationship management plays a very important role to survive in the market. It is very important that you should have the customers, that is you should be able to gain new customer and should be able to retain the new customers. And retaining a customer plays a very important role. Why retaining a customer plays a very important role? Because it helps in gaining a new customer. The loyalty plays an important role, and the to maintain to retain the customers. Various service providing organization puts in much of the efforts, right? There are right in customer relationship management, it is important that you should be in continuous touch with your customers, right? You should have a database, right, of your customers, right? Any of the good organization, they have these softwares nowadays, because the technology has grown. As that technology helps us in CRM, and there are the various types of softwares are available as per the requirement of the organization. You should have a software which could have a database of your customers, right? They should have detail of each and every customers, like each and every customer, like the customer's name, phone number, address, their preferences, their likes, what they have purchased, and how often they visit your sites, or how often they purchases from you, right? That is very important. You should have a database. If you have a database, then only you can send them the messages, right? You can send them the messages of new arrivals or of new type of services if you are providing, or you can remind them of the about their expiry of their services or renewal of their services. And all this plays a very important role. At times because of the busy schedule, we forgot the time that our services are expiring. At times we forgot that thus our car insurance, suppose take an example of car insurance, that our insurance is expiring on so and so, that we can forget that. But if you have a database, and if you send them an SMS or call them that your insurance is expiring on this day and it's time to renew your insurance, it helps it helps the customer, right, as well as it helps in maintaining the relationship with the organization. They feel like that the organization takes care of them, and and this helps in developing a good relationship, and this in turn could lead to the could give you a loyal customer. Your customer could become a loyal customer, right? So this CRM plays a very important role. Customer relationship management is very important, right? Many softwares are there. With the help of that, you can maintain the relationships, right? Okay, back to our definition, that American Management Association defines the services marketing as the organizational function and set of processes for identifying or creating, communicating, and delivering value to the customers, for managing customer relationship in a way that benefits the organization and the stakeholders. That is what I explained you, right? It defines that marketing, that AMA defines the service marketing as the organizational function. This is an organizational function and a set of processes for identifying or creating, that you identify the needs of the customer, create the services as per the need of the customers, communicate the services, and delivering the values to the customers, and for managing a customer relationship in a way that benefits the organization and the stakeholder. That is what the service marketing is. What we are doing is marketing of services, right? Service marketing is what this is, an organizational function. Service marketing is an organizational function and a set of process of identifying, creating, communicating, and delivering the value to the customers, and managing CRM, customer relationship, in a way that benefits to both the organization and the stakeholders, right? There are the characteristics of that is of service marketing, that is perishability, right? Changing demands, the demand changes, right? So as per the change in the demands, you should be able to change your services or processes, because with the change in the demand, you should be able to change as per the requirement. Intangibility, right? You cannot, the services are intangible, inseparable. I discussed about the inseparable. Heterogeneity is there, that is there will be difference in these services every time in the while you are taking the same type of services from different service provider, or from the same service provider, there will be difference in the services, and the pricing of the services would be different, right? So these are the characteristics of service marketing, that is the intangibility, use of the tangible product, non-stock maintenance. No stock is required to maintain low price sensitivity and value creation process, right? So we can classify the service marketing into two, that is the consumer service marketing and the industrial service marketing. So CRM is important for both type of the classification, right? It is whether it is the consumer service marketing or whether it's an industrial services marketing. CRM, that is the managing a relationship with both type of the customers, are very important. In any case, customer is customer, whether it's a consumer service, consumer, or the industrial uh, consumer, right? Classification of the services, we can classify these services, that is the people processing services, product or possession processing services, information processing services, and mental stimulus processing services, right? So people processing services or product or possession is the tangible, right? Product and information is object or product type of the services. Information and mental stimulus is the intangible type of the services. People and mental stimulus is the people type of the services. So you can classify the services as the people processing services, or the product, that is the services related to the product, or information processing services when you are looking for some type of the services like Google. Whenever we want any information, we always look for whenever we are looking for the information, we always the first thing comes in our mind is Google. That is the information processing services. It is providing us, it is processing the information for us and providing us the services, product or possession processing services, as I have given you the example of the car insurance, right? And the mental stimulus processing services, that is mental stimulus is suppose I want a service like I want to learn meditation or something like that. That is the mental stimulus processing services, or education related services are all mental stimulus processing services. Again, education is an education is what? It is intangible. You cannot touch it, right? I am delivering a lecture. It is intangible, right? It is heterogeneous, right? But again, this is a service which I am providing to my stakeholders. So mental stimulus processing services, it is again, it is related to people, and people processing services, like people processing services like health services, right? Health services, all these are the people processing services. These hospitals, what hospitals are providing you? They are providing you these services, and these are the people processing services. They are taking care of your health. So you can classify these services into tangible, right? Tangible, people are, again, people are the tangible, you can touch them. Product processing, right? And the people comes under people also. Object, product, intangible, tangible, people, or the object. So these are the classification of these services. There are the certain challenges in the service marketing. What are the challenges in the service marketing? Like intangibility, right? Because of intangibility, it creates problem, because we that is whenever we can feel and touch something, it creates a satisfaction, and we are able, it makes the decision making easy, right? Because of the intangibility of these services, because of these characteristics of the service, because the service is intangible, it creates a doubt in our mind. What type of service they will provide? Should I buy that service or not? Should I buy it from that service provider? Should I go to that service provider? Well, right? So its intangibility is actually a challenge, because you are not sure about the services. You can be sure about the services after availing those services. And whenever you avail that service, being a customer, you have to pay for that services. If you are not satisfied with that services, the customer can feel like it was the waste of money. And if you are satisfied with the services, it could you could turn into a loyal customer. So intangibility, because of the intangibility behavior of these services, right? It is a challenge of service marketing, right? Because it creates a doubt, lack of ownership. Because of the lack of ownership, people at times feel like, why should I take these services when I will not own any of the things, right? Like car insurance, right? Or the health insurance. If we need that, then only we feel like that we have taken a right decision. But if in case you have taken a car insurance, and and for one full year you have not claimed anything from that insurance, then that was the lack of ownership. You felt like that my money has gone like this only, right? Like gone in vain. So lack of ownership, perishability, that it perishes. The services has a certain period of time, right? After that period, it is important to again purchase those services. Then again you have to pay for that services. Once you buy a product, right, you have to pay once, but for the services, each and every time you have to pay for that, those services. That is the perishability. Like suppose if you have a if you suppose if you buy something, suppose if you buy a refrigerator, you paid once and the refrigerator will be yours, right? For whole life, right? Or until you want it, until you want it, right? So but in these services are perishable. Say for first 6 months, or for first for 1 year, right? You have given that the that you will get the free services. Not exactly the free services, the amount of the services has been included in the amount of the product, right? But after 1 year, if you face any sort of the problem with the product, then you have to pay for the services, right? If you are taking any services after a certain period of time, right, then you have to pay for those services, and the time, the number of times you pay, you take the services, you have to pay certain type of services. Is this, that is perishability. Heterogeneity of the services, the services could be, the services are heterogeneous, right? Even if you are taking the services from the same service provider, the type of the services provided by the same service provider, that not the type, are the at this different point of time, the same type of the services provided by the same service provider could be different. It differs from employee to employee. Suppose a, for the first time, a has given the services, employee has given you the services, and at other time b employee has given you the services, that you, at times of the same service organization, they were employees of the same service organization. You could be happy with the service provided by the b, but could not be happy with the a, or vice versa, right? So heterogeneity of services is the biggest challenge in the service marketing, and interactivity again plays a very important role, right? Because people, that is people plays a very important role. It creates a confidence, right, among the customers. If they have, if they could contact you, if they, you have given a certain address, or if you have given them the certain number, customer care number, and your employee, they can interact with your employee or with the organization at any point of the time. It creates a confidence. But because of lack of interactivity from the organization, it creates dissatisfaction among the customers, right? Marketing plays a very important role, right? A marketing mix includes multiple areas of focus as part of comprehensive marketing plan, right? Communication plays a very important role. You have created the services as per the requirement, but it is very important to communicate it to the customers, right? So marketing mix, the term often refers to the common classification that begins with the 4P, that is the product, price, placement, and the promotion. And effective marketing touches a broad range of areas, opposing to the fixation on the one message, right? In marketing, there are 4Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. But in service marketing, there are 7Ps, right? 3Ps extra. That is, product should be there, price should be there, right? Product means what type of insurance. Insurance is a product. Car insurance, health insurance, lifetime insurance, all these are the product, although these are the services, but again these are the product, right? Product should be there. Prices, right? You should decide the price as per the product, right? Promotion is required, that it is required that you should promote it to the customer, that what all type of the product or services you are offering. Then packaging plays a very important role, right? And what all extra benefits are we getting from that, that is very important. After this comes the place, positioning, and people, right? um, Place, that is product, price, place, and promotions, right? Then the place plays a very important role. Why place plays a very important role in the customer, in the services of marketing? Because if you have a if you have an office, right, where customer can come and can interact with your employee, it creates a confidence among the customer, right? Or if you have a certain website, not the office, if you have a certain website and every each and every detail has been given there, then they can take these services from there, or can return, or can purchase the products from there. So it is very important place, right? People. Then positioning, we know what is the positioning. Positioning is creating a niche in the mind of the customers. That is positioning. Positioning plays a very important role. Then comes the people. Why people? Because positioning. Why positioning is important? Positioning is important because services are intangible, right? Because they are intangible, they are heterogeneous, and there are many other challenges associated with the service marketing, which we discussed few minutes back, right? The positioning plays a very important role. That positioning, that is, there should be a place that people should know that you are in the market, and your place in the mind, that you should be able to make a place in the mind of the customer so that they can prefer your services over the others. And this positioning helps in building up the confidence, right? If they have a certain, if you have a particular position or a certain position in the mind of the customer, it will build up the confidence and among the customer, and they will prefer you over others. So positioning plays a very important role, and in this positioning, people and place plays a very important role. People means what? Employees. That employees, that you should have a good well trained employees who can with whom the customer can interact anytime, and your employees should be able to take up the problems of the customers and should be able to give them the solutions related to their issues. People plays a very important role, and it creates the confidence, and because of this it helps in positioning, right? And place plays a very important role. Place could be your office, or it could either be your office or your website, right? Consumer behavior, right? Consumer behavior is very important, and consumer behavior is what? It is a process and activities people engage in when searching, selecting, purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing the product and services so as to satisfy their needs and services. All right. So whenever I think I need certain services or a product, being a consumer, I'll not anything which I see in the market, right? What will I do is I'll search for that product or the services right before purchasing that, right? Then after searching, I will evaluate those services, right? Then I make purchase, right? I will after purchasing, I will again evaluate, right? The product or the services, and then only it could lead me to either to satisfaction or the dissatisfaction, right? So search attribute is very important. The attribute a consumer can determine before a purchase, right? Before a purchase, each and every consumer determines before making any purchase, the consumer searches for that product or these services, right? And then the tangible attribute, actually tangible attributes helps in evaluation, right? Then the experience attribute plays a important role, right? Like what type of experiences attribute could be, you could be see reviews, a reviews type. Whenever I'm looking for something, right, for a tangible attribute, right, I can search for that product, I can see and touch. For the intangible product, right, what matters to me is the reviews or the experience attribute. If I have experience, I could tell whether the services provided by the service provider was good or not, or from the reviews of others, right, I could search, right? That reviews plays an important role, right? What are the customer expectations of these services? There are certain expectations of the customers for these services. They are the ideal expectations, right? Everyone says this restaurant is good as one in the France, and I want to go somewhere very special for my anniversary. This is the ideal expectations, that everyone says this is good and I would like to go there once, right? For some important occasion, right? This is the ideal expectations, that they will serve me well. Normative expectations, like as expensive as this restaurant is, it ought to have excellent food services. This is normal expectations, right? Ideal expectations is everyone says that this is good, then they will I would like to go there at some time. Normative expectations is because they are charging high, right? The food should be, or the service provided by them should be good. I am taking this services and they are charging me more than anyone else. They should provide me good services, right? If you are charging me more than any other service provider, what I expect that your services should be good. Experience based dom is most time this restaurant is very good, but when it is busy the service is slow. That is the experience based. Then the customer expectations could be on the basis of the experiences. Although this saloon is good, right, and they serves us well, but again because of the marriage season, or uh, because of the rush, right, the type of this service provided was not that good, or was okay type, right? That was the experience based norms. Although every time, most of the times they provide the good type of the services, but because of the certain reasons today there was a delay, or the type of the services they provide was not like that, right? So this was the experience based norm. So ideal expectations, then comes the normative expectation and the experienced expectations. Then comes the acceptable expectation. I expect that this restaurant to serve me in the adequate manner, right? That is the acceptable expectations. Fine. Acceptable is I thought that they might serve me well, but at least they should serve in that way. That should be in adequate manner. That should be acceptable, right? So this expect that is the acceptable expectation says that they should serve, they should provide at least those things which are required. Minimum tolerable expectation, I expect terrible services from this restaurant, but come because of the prices low. That is the minimum tolerable expectation says. I don't expect anything from this service provider. If they will provide me something, it will be good, right? I have taken a some membership of this saloon. Although I don't think that they will provide me good type of the services, but why? Because they are providing these services at at very low cost, right? That is the minimum tolerable expectations, right? Again, there are the types of customer expectations, right? We discussed about these expectations, right? Then the consumer decision making process is a complicated process. Um, whenever I plan to buy some services, right, then consumer takes a decision. Before taking a decision, it goes through many phases, right? And at that time CRM plays a very important role. If you manage your relationship with the customer, it helps in consumer decision making process, because employees, again the people, plays a very important role in decision making. Suppose I want a certain type of a product, and a certain type of the services which I have availed from you and earlier, and now I want to renew, or I want those services again. If you are in relations, if you are in contact with me, right, I might opt your services again. And if you are not in contact with me, I may shift to some other person, because this consumer decision process is a complicated process. Because the first point of consumer decision is need recognition, whether uh, that is what I actually need, right? It is very important that it should be clear in my mind what all do I need. I need these type of the services. Suppose I need saloon services, specifically in saloon services, what do I need? Or I need a car insurance, what type of a car insurance I need, right? So a need recognition should be there. Information search, then people start searching for the information, what all service providers are there who could give us those type of these services. They compare and contrast the on the basis of price, on the basis of other things, right? Then the evaluation of alternatives, then they evaluate the alternative who are the good service provider, right? And then the purchase decision. In this purchase decision, that CRM plays a very important role, right? After evaluating the alternatives, if I have taken the similar type of the services from someone earlier, right? Then if the employees of that service provider is in continuously is in contact with me, right? They could help me in this decision making by how they could help me in fact in evaluation of the alternatives, right? If I have certain doubt, they can help me in evaluating the alternative. That is that they can tell that how their product is different from the other, or how their product is similar to the other product. What all benefits will I get, and this will help me in making purchase decision. After making a purchase, the post purchase behavior is there. If I am happy, again, if I am happy with their services, or with the type of the relationship, or other things, then I could convert into a loyal customer, or I could switch to some other service provider. So consumer decision making process is a complicated process, right? Services marketing mix again plays a very important role. Product in the marketing context is anything which is offered to the market for exchange of consumption. And goods marketing, we also say that there is a tangible component with some intangible like style, after sale service, credit, etc. are integrated. Right, as I said, right, the intangible, the various services are associated with product. Product is tangible. We can see, we can touch, we can own that product. But with that product, with those tangible products, some intangible services are associated, like style, right, credit, or like after sales services. All these are integrated. In services, there is no or little tangible element. Therefore, these services are considered to be benefit which are offered to the target market, right? There are two important things to note. That the first, this service is a bundle of features and benefits. So what is service? Is a bundle of features and benefit. What all features are there, right? Suppose I purchased some television, right? And that those features could be the services, right, or the benefits, right? And secondly, these benefits and feature have relevance for a specific target market, right? These features or benefits have a relevance for the specific target market. So while developing the service product, it is important that package of benefits in the service offer must have a consumer perspective, right? So it is important, right? देखो, there are two important things. First is services bundle of features and benefits. So nothing but services what? Bundle of features and benefits. What benefit I will get from these services, and what all feature the all these services, what all these services include, and how will I be benefited from this. And these benefits and features have relevance for a specific target market. If I don't have a car, then what will I do with the car insurance? So it is important that these benefits and feature have a relevance for the specific target market. So while developing this service product, it is important that the package of benefit, right, in the service offer must a consumer's perspective. So consumer's perspective must be there, must have a consumer perspective. Whenever you are offering some services with the product, in short, it is important that you should keep in mind the consumer perspective, what the consumer wants. Important is provide the services as per the expectations of the customers. Then only customer will be happy to take your services, right? So there are the different types of the products which are the services, right? Which we provide, that is the core product benefits, right? Then the generic product, expected product, augmented product, and the potential product, right? Core product, what are the basic needs of the customer satisfy when they buy the product, right? The core product is what all basic needs they could be, what all are the basic needs that a customer could satisfy when they buy the product. Suppose I buy a car insurance, what is the basic needs in case of, god forbid, in case of any accident, I get the insurance, right? Insurance will help me in mending up my car. That is the core benefit of the product. What is the generic product? What is the basic version of the product with only those features necessary for it to function, right? So, what generic product is? What the basic feature is required, like it should cover my parts of the car as well as third party insurance should be there. So these are the generic product which I require from that car insurance, right? Then the expected product, the what features do the customer expect to product to have, what all I expect from the insurance, right? That is, they should insure my certain parts as well as the third party insurance. What all I expect is from that product is they should give me insurance for my keys or for certain plastic parts and all other things. These are the expected product, what the feature the customer expects from that, right? Or there should be hassle free, I could get hassle free reverse, right? Augmented product, what product variation or extra feature might have to differentiate the product from the competitors. Why should I see what is expected? All these have been, all these products, all these that everyone is covering my certain parts of the car, the third party insurance is there. My expectations is that they should cover up certain other part which has not been covered up right now. And then the augmented product is how your product is different from the competitor's product. Why should I purchase your product, right, while other is giving me the same insurance at lesser cost? That is the augmented product. Why should I buy your insurance or insurance from your company while other insurance companies providing me the same type of the insurance at lesser cost? That is the augmented product. Then the potential product. What signifies improvement my product experience includes in the future? That is the potential product. Augmented product is that there should be differentiation, and potential product is what significant improvement might the product experience in the near future. That is the potential product, that there will be changes in this, right? That is the potential product. If you will take this, right, the next year you will have to pay less, or you will, your insurance will increase automatically. If you will not, right, then that could be the potential product, that you will get extra benefit. That could be the potential benefit, is that next year you will get the extra benefit from this. That is the potential product. Suppose you have taken the insurance of 5 lakh, the next year you will, if you will not take any, if you will not claim the insurance, the next year automatically it will be increased to 10 lakh. You will have to pay the same amount then, but the insured amount will be 10 lakh rather than the 5 lakh. This is the potential product. So what type of this is important, right? The products, core product benefits, this what type of the services are you providing? The core services, generic services, again the basic versions of the services, expected services is what extra the consumer wants from you. The augmented services is the variations, that is the difference between you and your between your competitors, and how significant improvement will be there in your services in future, right? Then in positioning is very important. You can position your services by the attributes, right? So positioning the attribute strategies, we are discussing about these strategies, right? How could you strategize, how can what all strategies should be there, right? Positioning strategy is important, right? Positioning by attribute, that a service provider must position itself based on the attributes or features, right? Theme based resorts or the hotels, that is the positioning. Why should I take your services? A service provider must itself based on the attributes or the feature, what all you are providing, right? There are so many hotels or the resorts, right? So what else are you providing rather than a room or a comfortable bed or something like that? Or what all are you providing? That is on the basis of attribute. That is, it would be the theme based resort, right? Or other type of the services extra, you could, what extra you could give, that is on the basis of attributes. Positioning on the basis of benefits, what extra benefits will you get, right? The customer receives from the specific services, like through online ticket booking platform offers special discounts, right? Or air ticket booking, if payment is made through the credit card or debit card of a specific bank, you will get 5% off, extra 5% off. That is the positioning on the basis of benefits, right? That is positioning on the attribute, that on the basis of the characteristics or attributes of your product or the services. Then positioning on the by the benefits, what all extra benefits will you get, right? Then positioning by the competition, right? That is uh, that is when you are making comparison, right? Of your services to the services offered by your competitors. That is positioning by the competition. That is when you are stating how your product or services are better than their competitors services. That is positioning on the basis of the competition. Then the price based positioning is important. The positioning strategies focus on relationship between the price and the quality, as well as the consumer perception of the product's value. Then positioning could be on the basis of price, it could be low priced or the high priced or the optimum price. That again depends on the strategies, right? On what strategy you are pricing your product or these services, right? So positioning strategies focusing on the relationship between the price and the quality, right? So if you are targeting the masses, then it is important that you should keep your prices less, right? And even if the prices are less, the quality you can, the attribute could be, even if the price is less but the quality is good, right? So price, or if you are offering a service at the higher price, then the quality of the service could be good. So it could be on the basis of the prices, as well as the consumer's perception. It should include the consumer perception, what the consumer perceives about the services, how important those services which you are offering to the consumer is for consumer, whether those services are important for the consumer or not, right? And what is the value of product, right? What is the consumer perception of the product value, right? Do the consumer feels like that these services, that they want these services and they want to spend, they it's worth spending that much money for these type of these services? What is the consumer perception of the product's value, right? Whether it is overpriced or optimally priced, or they are you are charging low for the services, right? So price based positioning could be there. Then positioning as a leader, right? Suppose positioning as a leader is means you are the first one to innovate or to come up with those type of the services, right? That is positioning as a leader. You are the first one who started that type of the services. Suppose right. Suppose example is life insurance corporation, LIC position itself as a number one in life insurance category, right? Because it is the one who started all these type of insurance in India, right? Then the State Bank of India or the other platforms, right? Then user positioning, the service is positioned for the specific target group. For example, the Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation plans special pilgrimage tours, right? That is the user positioning. What is user positioning? The service is positioned for a specific target group. You have targeted a specific group, and you are serving to that specific group. That is on the service is positioned for a specific target group. Suppose you want to serve to school going children, right? Or you want to provide some services to females between 16 to 19, right? So user positioning is there, or you are providing certain services to senior person. That is that type of services, that is the user positioning. That you're organizing a certain type of a tour for senior citizen, right? That is user positioning. Or you are offering certain rebates on the airfare, right, for senior citizens. That is the user positioning is there, right? And then the service marketing triangle is there, and it is very important. What is the service marketing triangle, right? The company, employees, and the customer, these people, right? Yeah, people and the place, it plays a very important role. This out of seven P's, that place plays a very important role. For place and people plays a very important role. That company is the place, right, who is providing that services, and employees and the customers are the people. And these three, company, employees, and the customer, plays a very important role. Because the company, because if you have a so if you have a certain if your company has a certain office or a website, it creates a confidence among the customers, and in case of any of the problem, they can visit your website or the office, right? And the company, there is a relationship between the company and the employees, right? Company and the employees. And if you have a certain office or a website, right? Or you might have hired some of the employees, and the company give them the give employees. And this creates a goodwill among the customer or in the market. And the company and the employees, the company provides training to the employees. And this type of is training, various type of trainings to the employees. That is, what all type of the services are you providing, and how to tackle the customers, and how to take up the problems of the customers, and many other type of the trainings, right? And if employees faces any type of the problem, or if they have any feedback, they can give it to the company, or to the company means to the management. And this is known as internal marketing, and internal marketing is very important, right? Then company, there is a interactive marketing between the employees and the customer. The employees, the trained employees, helps the customer to solve out their problem. They helps in their decision making, purchase decision making. And if customer have any issue, they can call they can call your employees, or they can employees can so your employees can solve the problems of the customers, right? So, and this CRM plays this these employees helps in maintaining a relationship with the customer. And this is known as interactive marketing, interactive relationship management, right? It is very important. Then there is a relationship between the company and the customers. That is, the external marketing is there. That the companies at times externally communicate with the customer, like like in promotions, like that is the external type of the marketing, that the company markets about itself, about the product, about the services they are providing. And they are in this way they are interacting with the customer. And this is the external type of the marketing, right? There are the certain challenges of the service personnel, that boundary spanning roles. Service employees are known as boundary spanners because they function at the boundaries of the organization, right? They serve as a bridge between the organizational internal activities and its external customer, stakeholder, and the environment, right? They serve as a boundary, right? They serve as a bridge between the company and the employees, right? So boundary spanning role is there. Service They serve as a bridge between the organizational internal activities as well as the external customer, stakeholder, and the environment. Right? They play a vital role in comprehending, sorting, and evaluating the data and material sending and leaving the organization. They help in CRM. Right? They have a variety of duties to perform, some of which can be contradictory, which makes their jobs challenging. Right? Suppose, right. What the company expects from the employees, that they should help the customers in decision making and purchase decision making, or right, as per the expectations of the organization or the company. But what the customer might not like, that they want that they should leave them alone and should provide the assistance whenever I ask for the assistance, right? So there are the various duties to perform which might be contradictory, right? Then there are the emotional labor, right? When there is a mismatch between the how a service employees feels internally and emotions that management expects to display in front of customers, because we all are human beings, we have different type of the emotions, right? If someone is going through a good phase or a bad phase, yeah, it is important that you should hide your emotions, right? And should manage your emotion, and should display a different type of emotions in front of the customers. Then role conflicts are there, right? That is, employees needs to manage a n number of tasks at time, right? Which frequently leads to the workplace conflicts, right? So there could be the role conflict. Then the role conflict could be personal or person or role conflict, or organization or client role conflict. It could be many type of the conflicts, or interclient conflict. A role conflict, service employee may have conflict between their personalities, self-perception, belief, and demand of their job. That is the what is my this is my job profile. Why should I do something else? That is the person or role conflict. Organization, the employee may encounter conflict when the conflicting expectations are placed by the organization or and by the client, as I have given you the example. Interclient conflict is employees frequently find it difficult or impossible to satisfy a complete range of wants and groups of heterogeneous client, right? So there is the interclient conflict. It is very important to manage the physical evidences, that is the P, one of the P's of the service marketing, right? It is difficult to understand and evaluate the services before making a purchase, as the services are intangible and often produced and consumed simultaneously. The tangible proof of the services is the physical evidences and serves as a primary criteria for determining the consumer expectations, satisfaction before to purchase. The physical surroundings, that is the consumer experience the services, which also has an impact on how service personnel and consumer interact. So environment in which the service is delivered and where the firm and managing physical evidences, the customer interact is defined the physical evidences, right? Physical evidences communicates the credibility of these services, right? So it is of two type, that is the peripheral evidences and essential evidences. The environment in which the services is delivered and where the firm and managing physical evidences, the customer interact is defined as the physical evidences, right? So the environment in which the services is delivered and where the firm and managing physical evidences, the customer interact is defined as the physical evidences. These are tangible, right? That promote the services. It helps to improve how well the customer perceives the quality of the services, right? Physical evidences communicates the credibility of these services, right? So peripheral services actually possessed as a part of purchase of the services, but it may, but by itself it has no value. The peripheral evidences, it could be the part of the purchase, but on its own it don't have any value. The air tickets, right? An airline ticket, a checkbook, or a receipt of a confirmed reservation in a hotel are example of the peripheral evidences. These are the part of the purchases, right? Uh, Peripheral evidences adds on to value of the essential evidences. Suppose if you have booked hotel somewhere and you got a receipt of that, right? Then it will give you some confidence that my room has been booked, right? Such evidences must be designed keeping in mind the overall image which the organization wishes to project, right, to the customers. Essential evidences cannot be possessed by the customers, right? So essential evidences cannot be possessed by the customer. The building, the size, the design, interiors, layouts, decor, logos, and all other equipments are the essential evidences. So these are the essential evidences, right? Effect of servicescape on behavior. There are various service effects on the servicescapes on the behavior, and the gap model of service quality is very important, right? The gap model of service quality is that one side there is a customer and on another side there is a company. First gap is between the company and the customer. Then the gap is understanding the customer's need, right? If you are not able to understand the customer needs or customer expectations, right, you cannot be able to provide the good services. Then the service delivery policies are important, right? What all policies are there and what type of service and service deliveries. The gap 3 is the service delivery. What all type of services are you deliver. And the gap 4 could be the external communication. It is important to communicate all these things that you are in the market and you are delivering these services. What all services are you delivering and what are your policies? It is important to communicate all these things. And if there is any gap in the external communication, then people will not uh, 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 take your services. Then the fifth type of services is customer perceptions and customer expectations, right? What the customer perceive about you and what the customer expects from you. That is, there could be a gap between the perception and the expectations, what they perceive and what they expect. This is the fifth gap, and it is important to understand and provide these services as per their perception and expectations, right? That's all for today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.